This video is a companion piece with PlayStation Source. To check out the list of the must-play games on the new PlayStation Plus catalog, make sure to check out the link down below in the description, and make sure to give Kevin some love. Tell him we sent you. The all-new PlayStation Plus revamp is right around the corner, and finally, we can play classic games from the PlayStation catalog straight from the PS5 console. While the list of games present on the premium tier isn't very lengthy, it is a decent start, with Sony promising to add games to the service each month continuously after launch. Hey everyone, it's Christian, and today on the Penultimate Conquest, we'll be going over the top games we want to see added to the PlayStation Plus premium catalog. Keep in mind, HD remasters of classic games, like Killzone and Sly Cooper, should be rolling over from PS Now into the new premium tier, so you won't see any of those games on this list. Greatness awaits, so let's jump right in. At number 10 we have Skate 3, and hopefully all the games from the Skate series. Shout out Skate 1. With Skate 4 finally announced back in 2020, and a growing resurgence of skate players posting clips on TikTok, being able to play the original titles would be a fantastic get on the new PlayStation Plus. Considering the games are already playable via the cloud with Xbox Game Pass, some kind of additional partnership with PlayStation to bring third-party titles to the new service would greatly bolster Sony's new digital catalog. Of course, the worry with PS3 titles on PlayStation is that you have to stream them via the cloud, so performance is going to vary on individual connection. This is me asking that Sony figure out backwards compatibility with downloadable titles. Make that happen. Please. ASAP. But at this point, I'd rather have some Skate 3 than no Skate 3. And I hope to see it eventually come to the service.
Behind every great hero, there is always a wisecracking, obnoxious nincompoop.
It's great to see Sony slowly build their catalog with classic games from their history, but the lineup of portable games is currently lacking. And with 4 Jack games already available to play on the new PS Plus on day 1, no PSP edition will be better than 2006's Daxter. Lauded as one of the best PSP titles, Daxter remains one of the last late, great collectathon video games, with excellent platforming sequences like slides and high-speed trains, and chase sequences on a hover scooter. There are even dream sequence minigames inspired by blockbuster movies like Lord of the Rings, Braveheart, and The Matrix. Face it, who doesn't want to be a leather-wearing ocelot fighting against Agent Smiths? Okami has long cemented itself as one of the greatest games ever made, despite its length, going so far as winning IGN's Game of the Year over Twilight Princess back when it originally released in 2006 on the PS2. Yet despite getting a recent HD release for Xbox, PS4, PC, and Switch, there's still many people who have never even played it. And since many people are itching for a new Zelda-like experience while we wait for the sequel to Breath of the Wild, offering Okami as a PS Plus title just makes sense. While there are certainly important PS2 titles already in the launch lineup for PS Plus, Sony still has a way to go if they want their service to represent not only the history of quality games on their platform, but to expand the list to also include more important third-party partners, like Capcom. Not to mention Game Boost upscaling Okami's gorgeous watercolor art style out to 4K would look absolutely amazing on the PS5, even if it is locked at 30 frames per second. Seriously, Okami rocks. It's got incredible music, an amazing story, great gameplay, and a beautiful art style. If you need any more convincing, just watch a few more seconds of gameplay. The Persona series is arguably one of PlayStation's most important franchises, so it's a shame that none of the Persona games, aside from the launch version of Persona 5, are available to play via console. This is also me saying Persona 4 Golden should come to PS Plus. But it's actually Persona 3 that I'm dedicating the number 7 spot to on this list. While thankfully Persona 4 Golden has made its way onto PC, Persona 3 is still trapped on older hardware, with many new fans yet to play what many consider an amazing game in the series. And with Atlus releasing the Dancing in Moonlight spin-off just a few years ago on the PS4 and Vita, offering this seminal RPG would surely make Persona fans happy, as well as bolster the PS Plus lineup with quality titles from PlayStation's past. While the gameplay is somewhat dated on the FES version of the game, with your party members' AI leaving many combat encounters to frustrating ends, many fans still praise the characters of 3 as some of their favorites. Not to mention the iconic Persona OST is still regarded as amazing. I mean, just look at this incredible intro. Another iconic RPG cracks the list, this time with Square's Chrono Cross for the PlayStation 1. No other genre better defines the PS1 than with JRPGs. With PS Now already offering classic titles like Dark Cloud and the original FF7, which should be available to play once the services merge, it comes as a surprise that the new lineup isn't including one of its most important titles. And while there is the recent Radical Dreamers remaster available, it still would be nice to have the original title available to play. Of course, Sony does have a State of Play scheduled for June 2nd with a focus on third-party partners, so there's a chance we could see something from Square there. Whether or not it's Chrono related, we'll have to wait and see. And I know this is just speculation at this point, but if Sony does acquire Square, as many people think they might, then it leaves the chance we could get more RPGs, like Chrono Trigger, added to the PS Plus lineup as well. Two generations ago, the PS3 was bolstered by a litany of quality indie titles throughout the console's lifecycle. And although we still saw many amazing indie games come to the PS4, we no longer saw much marketing or major spotlights from Sony with smaller titles. Thankfully, Sony has since debuted their Indies initiative with none other than Shuhei Yoshida heading the division. Gradually, we've started to see indie titles get screen time during State of Plays, as well as dedicated reveals via PlayStation's Twitter and the PlayStation blog. But while Xbox is able to offer high-quality indie titles via Game Pass, allowing many players to try smaller titles they normally might have not even purchased, so too can Sony compete with the new PS Plus by offering some of their new indie games coming to PlayStation. And what better way to debut the service this summer than by offering a game that has so many of us curious than with Blue 12 Studios' Stray. Stray looks awesome. It has all the charm of an Annapurna indie game mixed with the intrigue of a dystopian action-adventure game, and even, somehow, the platforming and visual polish of something like a Naughty Dog game. I'm always down for a great-looking sci-fi game, and the fact that you play as a cat just makes it all that more alluring. If the supposed rumors are true of a summer release, then I really hope Sony is able to partner up with Annapurna to bring Stray Day 1 to PS Plus subscribers, proving that their service isn't just for older games, but new titles as well. Okay, I know this is a VR game and not everyone has VR, but hear me out. PSVR 2 is rapidly approaching, with its high-end specs making it one of the premier VR units on the market. And although we don't yet know the price, the biggest barrier to entry is having to use it with a PS5 console, limiting PSVR adopters to Sony's market. Luckily, however, Sony has already said they will be dedicated to making games for VR and announced that over 20 games will launch on PSVR 2, with some first-party studios creating experiences specifically for the hardware. But in my opinion, if Sony wants PSVR 2 to succeed, then they need to make sure their previous VR titles are backwards compatible with the new unit. And the best way to build a new library of VR titles is by offering some of the key marquee experiences on the new PS Plus. And what better title to start than with Astrobot Rescue Mission? Team Asobi might be making some of the best modern platforming experiences, with some even comparing the quality of Rescue Mission to that of a Mario game. Personally, I still consider Astro's Playroom to be one of the best showcases of the DualSense we've gotten on the PS5. Team Asobi just knows how to pair gameplay with hardware features. And Astrobot Rescue Mission is just the same, if not better. The level variety and the ways you have to interact with the world continue to blow me away from start to finish. It takes a truly special team to create not just a fun game with enough variety, challenge, and replayability to keep people engaged enough to not want to take a VR headset off for a break, but to make a universally loved water level enough for multiple people to call it their favorite on a subreddit. Plus, leaning in to see Astro up close and see him smile and wave at you just never gets old. We need to put some serious respect on Team Asobi's name. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale is a good game. And I'm sure I may be in the minority on this, but nevertheless, let me explain why it deserves to be in the lineup of PS Plus titles. Enough time has passed since the launch of PS All-Stars that it's since grown somewhat of a cult following. Those that love it already know what's up, and those that hate it don't like that it isn't Smash. However, take a look at the fighting game lineup for 2022 and you'll see that we are currently back in a platform fighting game renaissance, with Smash Ultimate completing its final character roster, Warner Bros. Multiverse is launching its free-to-play game soon, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl releasing its own Smash clone pretty soon. Now is the perfect time to bring back PS All-Stars and test the waters for a potential sequel with a beefed up roster of Sony characters. And for those that maintain that they don't like the elimination system of All-Stars, then, to quote the homie Emmett Watkins Jr., there is no reason a PS All-Stars sequel couldn't pivot to a Smash clone style game while keeping a classic mode to appease both fans of the original game and those that wanted something more familiar. I personally really enjoyed having to build up a special meter in order to get eliminations, but I get why it wasn't for everyone. And for those who didn't play PS All-Stars, as I'm sure many didn't, including the game in the PS Plus lineup would be a great way to highlight a cult gem from PlayStation's legacy, even if it does just end up being a relic of the past. It'd be nice to have. Also, if anyone wants that smoke, let me know. I will whoop that ass with good coal. Okay.
Dr. Nefarious. This is the part where you lose.
Look, no matter what Sony does, PlayStation Plus is going to get compared to Game Pass. With Microsoft's service, new games are constantly launching on Game Pass day one. And while I don't think PlayStation is aiming for that same strategy, I do think there is space to offer more recent quality first-party titles. We're already seeing the likes of Returnal and Miles Morales make it onto Sony's new service. So why not also offer a high-budget title that also showcases the power of the PS5, like with Insomniac's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Insomniac are straight-up wizards, dropping not one but two sequels near the launch of the PS5, both to great reception. I thought Ratchet and Clank was freaking great. It was absolutely gorgeous, especially running in Performance RT, getting those nice reflections without sacrificing a smooth frame rate, and the story was surprisingly sweet, introducing someone who is now my favorite character of the series, Rivet. And most importantly, it's just a solid fun game, with each location offering enough gameplay and weapon variety throughout its runtime. Plus, it also features a really cool level that shows off the fast loading of the SSD, and, for you trophy hunters, is a fun and easy platinum. Rift Apart ended up being a huge success for Sony, selling over 1 million copies in the midst of a console shortage and garnering high critical reception. It's probably one of the more important titles in the early lifecycle of the PS5. Now a year out, it's entering the realm of sales frequently dropping between $30 to $40. And looking at the current lineup of games on the new PS Plus catalog, it's clear that Sony's focus is building a library of strong titles. Rift Apart would be more than right at home in the new lineup, and would surely make fans who are just getting their hands on the elusive console pretty happy. But before we close out with a number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Got the funky flow. Got the funky flow.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
No other game series is more important to the history of PlayStation than Metal Gear Solid, so it's a shame how difficult it is to play any of these games on newer PlayStation consoles. And I'm sure Sony would love to offer these games on their service as well, but ultimately, the decision is going to come down to Konami whether or not they want Kojima's games on offer. Also, the licenses for Silent Hill Collection, Metal Gear Solid Rising, Metal Gear Solid 4, Ground Zeroes, and Phantom Pain have all expired on PS Now, so we won't be seeing those make the jump to the new service either. Legit, I'd give anything to play MGS4 again. I don't care if I have to stream it via the cloud, just let me play it, please. And don't get me wrong, I would love a remake of Metal Gear Solid as well. The rumors of Bluepoint making one excite me to no end. But the original title is something that I think should be not just preserved, but readily accessible on newer hardware for everyone to experience. The same goes for the games in the rest of the series. And Metal Gear Solid still holds up pretty well. Not only is the presentation of the game still next level, it's got a phenomenal soundtrack and attention to detail that is still mind-blowing 24 years later. Sure, some gameplay elements haven't aged as well, but the fun is revisiting the insane boss battles and experiencing a visionary director tell a great story all over again. Kojima has always been in his element, and I hope a masterpiece like Metal Gear Solid, a game that isn't just important to the history of PlayStation, but to the industry, eventually makes it onto the new PS Plus service. That's it for this video. If you like what you saw, please consider dropping us a like. You can also sub to the channel to get more videos like this one, video essays I do on games and movies, and of course, all the podcasts we do here on the Penultimate Conquest. Let us know what games you think should be added to the new PS Plus down below in the comments, and as always, thanks so much for watching this video. Until next time, long live Chloe Zhao, and Denis, we trust. And also up the Reds. Did you get that? We got that? Okay.